is there a requirement to have a trainer or not have a trainer?
I primarily feel people don't know how to go about things. Why do I need a trainer? People in India don't help. They think that you should be like them. They'll say, हाँ sir, उठाओ. अरे 20 करते हैं इसको. Food is the most abused antidepressant and exercise is the least utilized one. After the age of 60 every year, we lose about 800 to 900 grams of muscle mass. If you take at least 60 grams of a day, it stops this muscle mass loss.
Dr. Kuldeep Singh will reveal his secrets to maintaining a chiseled physique at 60 through cycling and strength training. Let's discover how he manages to eat healthy amidst of his busy schedule as a practicing doctor. So sit back and enjoy the episode.
Hi, doctor. Good evening. How are you doing today?
Hi Ryan, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Thank
That
you
was
for.
a very generous introduction.
Let's talk about you first. In your school days, how were you as a teenager? Sporty kid? Are there any rules that you made at that time that are still there with you?
See, I was a very lean, thin kid. Those days, parents' biggest problem was child doesn't put on weight.
Hmm.
And I was in a school where to play all sports was compulsory. You were punished if you didn't play.
Oh,
And therefore, we got into playing all sports, like from baseball to basketball to football to hockey to cricket. So that was a very good 3 years, 9th, 10th, 11th, which I got. And I think that stood with me throughout.
amazing. And when you went into medical college, did you have time as a medical student for doing your fitness? Because everyone says once you get into medical studies, there's no time to do anything else.
Yeah, so first year I would play all sports, and then everybody said if you keep playing, you can't study. So I thought I should focus on exercise because one of my seniors, he was a wrestler. So I asked him, give me tips how to build muscle, how to get a good body. And he said, you actually have to have 1 liter of milk and 1 kg of mangoes every day extra.
Wow.
So I continued this for a month and exercised like mad and actually lost weight. I said, no, this is not working for me. But I think that got it in the head that,
Oh,
you have to do that.
okay. And in terms of being a doctor and pushing your body and having lost weight and all, over the years, I know that you are a very, very fitness conscious person. Did you have a trainer with you? Or my question to you would be, how important is it for people to have a trainer? You being a doctor, how important is your guidance to the people out there that is there a requirement to have a trainer or not have a trainer?
Yeah, most people you will see, they say, why do I need a trainer? I can exercise alone. So that is not the issue. Number one is the trainer corrects you. He corrects your posture. So he remembers, he takes a note. Last time, what did you do? Today, what you have to do. So he maintains a schedule. Secondly, he helps you, especially in your last reps.
Hmm.
When you're tired, you can drop the dumbbell or you can drop the barbell. He's there to help you. Thirdly, he makes sure you finish your workout. And that is important because many times, I am in a hurry and I want to shortcut something and just do a little and run away. No, he will not. But most importantly, he will make sure that you follow a schedule. And that is important.
Speaking of shortcuts, doctor, which a lot of people who come to my nutrition clinic and they want to do a shortcut diet, shortcut workout, we are seeing a lot of injuries in gyms or death in gyms, and I think the trainers help modulate this. What is your advice as a doctor to people saying like, don't go to the gym, don't do aggressive workouts, don't do all of these things?
About the how to go to a gym, number one is that if I know that I have medical problems, then I should consult my physician first and see what can I do, what are my limits. But what happens is most of the people don't know how to go about it. Like today, cardio is most of the programs, it is just a warm up. You cannot do cardio for 1 hour. So 10 minutes of cardio, warm up, and then you go on to strengthening exercises, resistance exercises. So most of people don't think because they're just doing what they've heard or see other people do. Secondly, there are two types of trainers. One is the younger ones who've just, bodybuilding and very young. They think that you should be like them. They'll say, हाँ sir, उठाओ उठाओ, अरे 20 कर दें इसको. Whereas then you have the other group which is mature, which is like 40 plus.
Hmm.
They say, sir, hold, do slow. You don't need to do more weights. You do it carefully, you do it slowly. And I have a trainer, fortunately, who is used to dealing with older people. He restrains you, he controls you, he makes you do things slower, he makes sure the technique is right. He says, weights will come, don't worry. But you get your technique right, your position right, and your schedule right. And that is what is important.
So Dr. Kuldeep is saying go slow. Even his trainers who are older say go slow. Correct rep range, correct rep timing. So I think the most important thing that people who are now hearing about fitness, a medical doctor is also advising that working out is good. It's not injurious to your health. Go slow and steady. And so that really helps. I also studied in a medical college, and you studied many years ago. You look like a handsome young 40-year-old doctor. But I remember when I studied in med college in 1995, 96, that nobody used the premises of the gym or the what we called as the gymnasium those days. It was
Yes,
empty, right? It was
yes.
the support staff that you would use it at Goa Medical College. What's your advice to medical students today in the fast-paced MBBS degree? If you were there teaching them, what would you advise them in 7 days of a week? When should they go? What should they do? And how quickly can they do a workout?
See, I think some exercise should be done daily, and that should not be in a gym necessarily. So, and 3 days a week at least, you should work out. And so, the remaining 3 days, you can just do brisk walking. I'm okay with that. 30 minutes of brisk walking is good the day you're not going to exercise in the gym. The 3 days you go to a gym, 10 minutes of warm up, and then you do whatever exercise you do. So I had a trainer, I'll tell you this, when I started, this was about 15 years ago, who said, sir, every day your warm up will be after cardio, 2 sets of push ups and 2 sets of squats. So I
Okay.
have been doing 2 sets of push ups for the last 15 years as my warm up every time I go to the gym. And it opens up all your muscles, and it is a good warm up actually. I spend more time in warm up and stretching than the actual exercise. And as you get older, that is important, because what you have to do is injury free exercise, and that is important. So warm up and relaxation later, stretching, are as important, if not more.
Dr. Kuldeep, you have inspired me because when I met you, I had an ACL tear. I'm 49 years old. Dr. Kuldeep, you have inspired me because when I met you, I had an ACL tear. I'm 48 years old,
Yeah.
going on to 49. And when I met you, you was like, look at me. I cycle. I do so many kilometers, more than 100 kilometers a week. And you said, I've had both my knees replaced. And that was an inspiration because you're continuing to exercise after having an injury and then getting it replaced. So what's the voice in your head? What's the secret that's pushing you? Because you motivated me. So how can we motivate people out there who are getting older, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, or even 60 plus, 70 plus? Even if the body is hurting or injured, you as a medical doctor who does surgery, who replaces things in people, uh, why should we push the human body?
They say that food is the most abused antidepressant and exercise is the least utilized one.
Wow.
And that is because the relaxation and happiness and stress busting, which exercise can get you, nothing can parallel. And it is 1 hour where I don't remember anything, what I have to do, whether my patients are there.
Do,
I've
do you
finished my
do you
work for
do
the
you
day.
take your phone into the gym?
I take my phone, but it is lying in one corner. And my trainer asked me, sir, should I bring it to you? I said, only if it says from the hospital, otherwise, just leave it. But we have installed a direct line into the gym, because I said, if somebody has even a fainting spell, you need to have something. And that is another reason why you should have a trainer. You
Okay.
are alone,
Okay.
you have a fainting spell, or God forbid, if you are an epileptic, have a seizure, or maybe have an heart attack, anybody can have. There should be somebody who can call the emergency code blue in our hospital. So, or in the gym.
So you are actually a doctor working out in the gym in his own hospital.
Yes, yes. So what we did was that during COVID, there was time, but we couldn't go to gyms. Gyms were closed.
Okay.
So we managed to convince our MD to open the gym in the basement with biometric access, and only one person could go in at a time and sanitize it. And my trainer was there with his double mask. So we would do that, and we installed this phone so that code blue can be called if there is a problem. And it is important. So I'll tell you another thing. Before that, somewhere before COVID, we do what is called a primary trauma care training courses in our free time, whatever that you may be. So I got all the trainers from my gym, 24 of them from Talwalkar gym in Delhi, two gyms, and we trained them in primary trauma care. So my trainer
For
actually
the
knows.
doctor, for the uninitiated, what do you mean by primary trauma care?
Primary trauma care is, suppose somebody gets an injury and falls down.
Hmm.
We think people in India don't help, but that is not the problem. They can't help because they don't know what to do.
Hmm.
And if you train them in that basic care, how to approach the person, call out his name, make sure he's conscious, make sure he's breathing, make sure he has a pulse, make sure he's, and then if not, then do a CPR, call for help, do CPR to resuscitate. So this is a very basic thing, and we teach it to lay people. And I thought my trainers were the persons who should be knowing this. And so all our trainers were trained, and half the money for that registration the hospital subsidized, and half the gym owner subsidized. No trainer had to pay money for that. But
Wow,
we trained 24 trainers, yes.
that's amazing. So talking about trainers and gyms and all, um, why do you cycle?
So when I had this knee problem first, we used to play tennis.
Okay.
So I had to give up playing tennis, and I said, I have to exercise. So I got a cycle, and uh, then I said I must start cycling. So I started. Cycling was painless, even with the knee problem, even with patients with arthritis. Cycling is relatively painless, and my orthopedic surgeon allowed it. He said it improves gliding, and so it is good. So I started cycling, and then my son joined me, and then we would go to longer distances. We made loops, one loop, bigger loop, bigger loop. So depending on your mood, you would take that loop.
Okay.
So that was fun, and we had a midway break, and we would take black coffee and then continue with our cycling. So it was fun. It was a good substitute for not playing tennis.
How old was your son when he started cycling with you?
So I think he was around 28,
So
and
it's a great way for parents to bond with their kids in an exercise
yeah,
activity.
absolutely. And it is good, and it is fun, and doesn't sound like exercise. And we would do like a minimum of 20 kilometers. That was shortest loop.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So we would do that. Yes.
So, when we met in Mumbai and we were talking about your life and how you're the doctor that tells everyone to do a diet in the hospital, come to me, I will tell you what to eat, how much protein to take, and all. And what you shared with me was so remarkable. So, any inspirational stories that you want to share with us as a doctor who works out? Ask people to work out, and then you're also very, very vociferous about diet being very important for your fitness regime.
I'm a big nuisance that way. If I see somebody who's not taking care of himself or herself, I will point out. And so what happened, we were in one of our meetings, and I met this young lady. She's a dermatologist from Bangalore. And I said, hey, do you need advice? Because I primarily feel people don't know how to go about things. Do you need to help lose weight? She said, I don't want to talk to you. Then next day she came to me and said, Dr. Kuldeep, I think I want to talk to you. So we discussed. This was in August in 1 year.
Hmm.
And we went back, and then we communicated on WhatsApp. She said, you have spoiled my food. I can't have idlis. I can't have this. I said, you slowly modify. Start with breakfast. Then we'll do lunch. Then we'll do dinner. And gradually you will feel the energy. Once your protein intake gets to 60 grams a day, you will have enough energy to start exercising. So on New Year, she sent me an email. I talked to her today. She said, yes, you can talk about me. Happy New Year, Happy New Me.
Wow.
And she had lost almost 15 kgs. And she was working, and she said, I think I must change my trainer because my weight is not going further down. and she is 63 now from 80 kgs and continuing this. And she says, every time I go cycling, I remember you. So there are some people who you manage to convince to change their lifestyle, and they're looking for it. They don't know how to go. I say there are three things required: knowledge, resource, and motivation. Three things are required, and most of the people don't know these. If you can fulfill these three needs, most of the people will be on track.
That's amazing. So, you talked. There's a nice point that I wanted to give as a takeaway. You didn't tell a person do the whole diet at one shot. First, start with
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
So you took one meal. You broke down one challenge of one meal, got it right, then went to the next meal. And would you say that, whenever we advise diet or exercise to people, they need to have patience of at least 180 days before they see something?
Yeah, because I tell them, see, you cannot do it all at once. And I what I do is I tell them to first mail me their their food diary for 3 days or 5 days. I said I want to know how you eat so we can insert things into your food plan without disrupting everything. Because if I disrupt everything, you can't sustain it. So they send me the food plan. We start with breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, and then we are on to it. So gradually, and I still tell them every week or 2 weeks, send me progress, not about things you've been able to do, even things you've not been able to do. And it works, and it even works long distance.
That's true.
uh,
That's very true. I work with clients across the world with the same methodology. Send me a food diary, tell me what you do, tell me what you don't do. So I think there are some finer, very cohesive points over here that doing nutrition or doing exercise is no rocket science. It's
Absolutely.
breaking down basic habits. Now, speaking of habits and speaking of nutrition, tell us some of your personal secrets that of the food department that you consume to stay healthy.
Yeah. So I always say that Indian society, when a mother puts food on the table, she doesn't think nutrition, she thinks taste.
Hmm.
And I say that if you, every time you go for a meal, if you say, is my food nutritious? Is my diet balanced? Half the battle is done.
True, true.
And if you can sort out your breakfast, I say, so I have a protein shake for breakfast.
Hmm.
And that makes my day because I make it in soy milk and whey protein. Because till 2 o'clock I don't feel hungry. Although at 12 I take a break, have some fruit, but it is sustaining. And that sets my day, the tone that yes, I have to eat healthy.
You know what you just said? We eat out of love and culture, but we don't
Yeah,
eat out of science.
absolutely.
Wonderful. So that's really good. So doctors going fine on the high protein in the morning, but a smoothie form, having an apple at 12 o'clock and getting the first traditional Indian meal maybe around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm presuming by then you've done all your surgeries.
Yeah, the surgery is finished. Even if surgery is not finished, I need 10 minutes because my meal is small. I'll have either some brown rice, grilled chicken, and vegetables, or I'll have one roti and some fish and veggies and a salad. So it'll be a very small thing, one plate. I never take a refill. That is my rule.
Doctor, I want to ask this question. If you have a very long surgery, do you come out, you're fed your food in 5 or 8 minutes, and you go back into the surgery?
Yeah, because we are many people. We work as a team. So if it is taking long, I'll take a break, 10 minutes, go to the loo, have water, eat something, maybe have a cup of coffee, and then come back.
So
So
this is a guidance to all the corporate people out there who are not saving lives and use this excuse that meeting nahi khatam ho gaya. I have to get my 1 hour lunch break. So
yeah.
I'll skip my food, I'll change the timing, I'll go to the next door dhaba and eat
Mhm.
all the wrong food. Whereas here is a surgeon who says, I still continue my work, but I'm eating healthy at the same time. And I just need that 8 to 10 minutes to do that eating and go back to my job.
My staff in the department, they all know that I will eat at 2. And they'll tell me, Dr. Kuldeep, 2 o'clock, time for you to eat. So that is so good. Even if you don't remember, and the day they don't remind me, I said, boss, you are not looking after me. You're not reminding me. So it is a very good thing. People around you remind you that it's 2 o'clock and time for you to eat. And I tell one thing more to people: never bring a whole lunch in one box. Get your food in small components. You get 5 minutes, have salad. You get 5 minutes, have one roti and sabzi. You get 5 minutes, have fruit. You get 5 minutes, you take some, bhurji, egg bhurji or something. So unless you want to take the whole meal together, you need half an hour, which you'll never get. But 2 minutes and you can finish a portion and go back.
So speaking of portions, I've been working with a lot with longevity and fasting and small portion sizes. But because I was so impressed with your muscular frame and skeletal frame as a 60 plus doctor, what's your take on the muscular part and longevity, or muscles and longevity?
Yeah. So longevity is related to lean body mass, which is basically our muscle mass.
Hmm.
And there are studies which say that after the age of 60, and even more so after 70, we lose about 800 to 900 grams of muscle mass every year. And that affects our quality of life in walking, in climbing stairs, in running. And if you take at least 60 grams of protein a day, it stops this muscle mass loss and improves quality of life. So that is one thing. If you want your older period in life, and now in Indians even younger period, because muscle mass is very poor, it will improve quality of life, and it is directly related to longevity.
Awesome. So you're telling the youngsters muscle train, you're telling the old people muscle train, you're losing muscle, add 60 grams of protein in the day. Doctor, your 5 favorite muscle exercises.
So like I said, my warm up is always two
Push-ups.
sets of yeah, two sets of 12 push-ups and two sets of squats. Even now with my replaced knees, I do that. And then I go on to at least one body part, three exercises. So I try either chest. So if I'm in a hurry, I will do my big muscles.
Which are the big muscles?
So big muscles is back, big muscles is chest, big muscles thighs. So I'll say, okay, I'll do my thighs and go, because today I have less time. I'll do this, or I'll do my back, or I'll do my chest. The smaller muscles, if you have time, you can do that. But in a hurry, do your big muscle. It metabolizes more calories. It increases your BMR more.
What is your shortest workout you've ever done? Because
Today,
you were in a hurry.
today,
Tell me.
today. No, I had to go. I had to go help a colleague's mother. I had to do a dressing before I came here.
Okay.
So I told my trainer that, look, I went in, I did my warm up, I did 10 minutes of cardio, I did push ups, I did squats, and I said, today that is enough. See, there are three exercises which you can do and exercise your whole body: push ups, squats, and pull ups. If you can do these three exercises, all your body muscles are exercised. So, quickest is two sets of each after your warm up. And then my trainer did 5 minutes of stretching for me. Stretching is important. You cannot get in exercise, get out. One cardiologist friend of mine did. He found out that his cholesterol is higher, his weight is increasing, bought a treadmill. He would jump onto the treadmill 30 minutes and then run off. He developed such severe fibromyalgia in his back. His entire back was stiff. It took us 6 months to get him all right. I said, you can't mess with exercise.
So what you're saying is people who suddenly decide to, oh, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to start running suddenly, stretch first,
Yeah,
warm up properly, start
yeah,
slow and steady. Because I
absolutely.
think a lot of people are getting motivated by these Instagram videos, your
Yeah.
podcast, my podcast, and they suddenly think they're James Bond.
So I say your mind is stronger than your body. You think you can do it, but you actually cannot.
So what are the tips? Listen to your body. Or should I check my heart rate? Like for example, a lot of people say, no, I don't have time, but I'm going to run. So I'm going to run for 10 minutes, but I don't have time to do 10 minutes of stretch up. So
Yeah.
when somebody's fat, somebody's plump, somebody's in a medical profession, somebody's in a techie, everybody says they're so busy in today's world. And the person came in front of you. What is the exercise regime that you would tell them to do?
I tell them that I want you to do 30 minutes of brisk walking every day. That's all. And in that, I tell them how to go about it. I said, if you're in a park, first round, relaxed. You will do it in a park. You will wear good shoes. You will walk on kacha soil, not on a
Hmm.
hard track. You will do brisk. So first round is relaxed. That is warm up. Then you increase your speed, and at till the speed where you're starting to get breathless, then slow down a little. That's your rhythm. Do 5 minutes at fast pace, and then one round to relax. So start with 5 minutes of brisk walking. After a week, 10 minutes. After a week, 15 minutes. So you have to reach 30 minutes of brisk walk. I don't want you to go to the gym. Your body will tell you, your nutrition will tell you, now I am ready to exercise in the gym.
Awesome advice, doctor, for everyone to follow in India. Start slow and steady. In 2024, when you start making a resolution, this is the way to start. Now,
Yes.
doctor, you are a surgeon. You're an aesthetic surgeon, plastic surgeon. You change people from outside, but you're also very passionate about diet. You're very passionate about exercise. Does nutrition affect our gut health and our digestion?
Yes, absolutely. The So I tell them it has to be a balanced diet. You have to have fiber. You have to have green vegetables. Colored vegetables are the key to your vitamin health. And then one more thing it is there that I always take glutamine in my workout drink. Glutamine
My
is the
favorite amino acid.
Yes, it is the exclusive food for our gut cells, enterocytes. Enterocytes do not consume anything else other than glutamine. So glutamine is an excellent thing for gut health. A lot of cancer medical oncologists use it for their patients. It also enhances good recovery of the muscle. So glutamine supplementation, enough fiber in your diet, enough water. See, you need water and fiber both to get the gut rolling so that you move the bowel. And what people don't do is they don't drink enough water.
So I think a little bit of exercise to have gravity shake you up, a little bit of water, a little bit of glutamine, a little bit of fiber.
Yes.
But doctor, I as a nutritionist, I've been telling people in the older days, we ate out once a quarter because daddy got some money and we could go to this posh restaurant. And then maybe about 10 years ago, we ate out once a month. About 5 years ago, everyone's eating out once a week. Now everyone's using the click of a button and ordering all of these online foods. I'm sure you see it with the younger doctors in your
Yes,
hospital.
yes, yes.
So are you a doctor that promotes a tiffin box carrying, घर का खाना, उसको लेके जाने का काम के लिए, या order out from these apps? From a digestive point of view, what's your take?
So I believe that if you carry your food, you will eat it. If you're not carrying food, you will eat whatever is available, and that may not be healthy. So that is the most important thing about food. What happens, Ryan, is that once you start building muscle bulk, you feel the need to have enough protein in your food. And if you don't get it, you get upset. We go to parties and there are two, three of us like-minded people. We are hunting for protein. So you have to have enough protein. You have to have some carbohydrates. You have to have enough greens and salads, and you are done. So even if you sometimes have to order something which contains all of these, rather than saying no, I'll order some maybe chaat or a burger or something. Order a sandwich, order a multigrain sandwich. You will have fish in that with salad, and it's good. And you can order healthy food, but it should be in your mind that I want to eat healthy.
Is it true, doctor? Because I read one study that says when people are the most stressed out or most short of time, they're very hangry and they make the worst decisions to order the most unhealthy food at that moment
Yeah, these are people who are not loving their bodies. See, I said I push my body every day to the extreme.
because you love your
Why
body.
would I now eat unhealthy? I mean, why am I doing all this if I'm not going to feed it? So I feed my body, I feed my muscles, I feed my health.
So if Dr. Kuldeep was a vehicle or a car, he'd be a Rolls Royce and he would be telling everyone, my body is the most expensive real estate I own. I live in it as a landlord. I don't live in it as a tenant. Would you say that's
Yes,
true, Dr. Kuldeep?
absolutely. I own it.
You own it. And now,
Yes.
speaking of internal beauty and stuff like that, we talked about nutrition, exercise. Now, you're a doctor who makes people beautiful also. From a skin perspective, uh, nutrition and exercise, how will it help from prevention of acne point of view, wrinkles, growing older, or how do I get more clear and radiant skin? I remember when I met you in Mumbai for the aesthetic conference, I automatically assumed you're in your 40s. Your skin was glowing. It had that glow to it. So, what's your secrets to adding food in your diet?
So I think what you have to do is have enough vitamins, have enough antioxidants. There is so much of free radicals being generated everywhere by the environment, by the sun, and so many things that if you have enough antioxidants, you will do well. So, like I was talking, I consume 1 gram of that amla extract vitamin C every day. So for dinner, when I sit down, In my water, I add one and I have that with my food. So I am doing that. Vitamin C is a brilliant antioxidant. It is also a very strong immune booster. It is a depigmenter. It is something which is, helps in almost every part of your body. And that is one thing which has been with me. And I always make sure there are enough colored vegetables in my food. And that helps your skin. I tell my patients, nail is pure protein. You need protein for the hair. You need protein for the blood. You need protein for the bone. You need protein for muscle. For everything, hemoglobin is half globin and half heme, iron and protein. So you have to make sure. Now, since COVID, people have become more sensitive. I do their nutritional profile when they come to me. If there is hair fall, if they have bad skin, if they have acne, I said you have to at least know that your nutrition is adequate. And they're surprised. Sometimes they fall, see everything haywire. And then we sort that out slowly and they get into a better regimen of diet, skincare, nutrition, exercise.
Dr. Kuldeep, is wonderful talking to you today. As a medical doctor, surgeon, expert, any fascinating study that you have come across that will motivate millions of Indians, which when you get your private clients coming to you and you're telling them correct your exercise, correct your diet, is there any fascinating study that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yes. So there was a study published in the American Journal of Nutrition, and this was a systematic review of 50 studies. And they had compared a high carb, low protein diet to a low carb, high protein diet. And there were three distinct advantages, which all studies agreed on. One is eating more protein is thermogenic. You need more calories to burn protein. So if you just change your diet, don't change your lifestyle at all, you will probably lose about 1.5 kgs per year just by changing your food. Second is it provides satiety. Third is it promotes selective fat loss. So these were three conclusions of this systematic review published in the American Journal of Nutrition. And that has stuck with me. It has such good satiety. Carbs, the more carbs you eat, the more carbs you want to eat again, because hunger is sustained rather than satiated.
So, would you also say that fasting is part of your regime?
Not fasting. I don't really fast. If I think I have eaten enough in the evening, sometimes evening I come and snack, then I skip my dinner and I just have a protein shake and go to sleep.
Awesome.
And yeah, that is good because then I balance out everything. One thing I want to tell you, we have a doctor's lounge and every day or every alternate day, some of the other consultant is giving lunches, daughter has got married, we have a grandchild. So what did I do? I got 250 bottles of milk protein shakes. So I said, this is lactose free. This is no sugar, and you will drink this, and this will, you will at least get a taste of what a protein shake. You have very bad impressions of how protein tastes.
So, doctor, we talk about the skin and we talk about health and we talk about exercising and workout and you start breathing heavily and all. Now, speaking of breathing, अभी तो दिल्ली का सिचुएशन ऐसा हो गया कि काफी बुरा है. It's really polluted. Schools are closing down, and we're hearing doctors talking about the risk elements to health, to the skin, to the immunity system, to the liver, to the lungs. What is it that a person can do to biohack their body?
So when I first started cycling, even in times when the pollution is less, I've always used an N95 mask.
Sorry, even before COVID, you used to use an
Yeah, for the last 15 years.
So that means people who work out in cities, they're taking in all of this smog and pollution, and they think they're getting fitter, but they're also putting in a lot of smog.
Yeah.
But what convinced you to use an N95 mask before? What was the thought process as a doctor?
So N95 masks are primarily anti-pollution masks. We have used them for COVID later. So they are anti-pollution masks. It is written there. It is an anti-pollution mask. And what happened was in the evening when I come back, I blow my nose. I could see dust. I mean, what secretions come, they are contaminated with dirt. You will be surprised. I used to go cycling and I wear white masks. So the outside would be turned dark, blackish, and the inside would be absolutely white. And when I blew my nose after coming back from cycling, it was absolutely clean. So that encouraged me. And it was like a sort of hypoxic training because there is a part on Nelson Mandela Road where it is uphill. And for 3 kilometers. So that was a good exercise. And I used to keep my mask on. So in COVID, actually, it conditioned me. I didn't have any problem wearing a mask all the time.
James Nestor has written a latest book called Breath. and he's a journalist that interviewed pulmonologists across the world. And the latest information from deep sea divers to high-end athletes is that the same intensity of breathing is better when you breathe only in through your nose and out through your nose. And what you mentioned, more carbon dioxide allows
Yeah.
for lesser hyperventilation and lesser effort when exercise.
Yeah.
But people in Delhi are smoking 25, 30 cigarettes a day as per a Times of India article.
Yeah.
So we don't see the pollution. Is your advice to people to try and wear a mask during this season of high pollution?
Yeah. So what I did, Ryan, was I bought a sensor which senses
The
PM
particle.
2.5,
Okay.
and I took it to my workplace, in my room, in the lobby, in my car, in my study, in my drawing room, and outside.
Okay.
And then I could place which place is clean and which place I need to wear a mask. So my hospital is clean. The theaters actually have the lowest PM 2.5, like 9, 10, because they have HEPA filters all over. My rooms are also clean. Air conditioning also to a certain extent brings down the pollution level, especially central air conditioning, which is not getting in direct air from the outside. The big cars all have HEPA filters, and I could have 40 inside my car and 400 outside, the PM 2.5. The smaller cars don't have HEPA filters. So my daughter's car, we put a Philips car small
Portable filter.
portable filter into the car. In 5 minutes, it makes the PM 2.5 go to 40.
Wow. Wow.
So everywhere, once I know where pollution is more and where it is less, then I say only when I'm outdoors I will wear a mask.
Very intellectual and very fantastical question, or utopian question. If you were the health minister of India,
Hmm.
what would you change for this pollution thing?
So I tweeted one day to the Environment Ministry, to the Chief Minister of Delhi. I said the best thing we have seen for pollution is if you have weekly rain. It was raining for some time this year. We had the longest low pollution period this time in this year before this pollution started again. And that was because almost every week we would have rainfall. It washes everything down, AQI is down, and we are good. So I said the best thing is seed clouds, have rain every week for these 2 months. And you are done. So I think that is the easiest. They've been only cribbing. They've not been doing anything.
Okay.
The measures are all half measures.
So we should end on a less choky note and a more happy note. What about sleep, doctor? How many hours do you sleep? What do you recommend to your patients, your clients? And is there anything in the sleep department that you take from improving your sleep? Is there any biohacking or any nutrition that you do?
So workout drinks mostly contain caffeine.
Yes.
So if you are doing evening exercise
Don't take
workouts,
the pro-workout.
you have to be careful, or you get low caffeine, medium caffeine, high caffeine pre-workout drinks, or make it half a scoop, or drink only little, or remove it entirely from your but you have to be careful. Or like me, if you sleep like at midnight. See, my mental faculty is more active at night. If I have to do written work, I do that. But I sleep definitely by 12 and I get up at 6:45 or 7. So 7 hours of sleep I get every day. And surprisingly, from the time I started working out, I can sleep like this. Your body demands sleep. So exercise is the best sedative. Work out and you sleep like a baby.
So doctor, we'll end this episode with, if senior Dr. Kuldeep had to travel back in time and meet junior Kuldeep, what would you tell him differently?
So I will tell you about this. One of my colleagues' son, he was going to engineering college. And he was quite thin, and he said, "Uncle, I want to build some muscle." So I said, "Okay, you're going to boarding. I mean, it was hostel. What can you eat? What protein can you get? Can you get eggs?" He said, "Yeah, I can get eggs." I said, "Okay, so one source done. Second, you can take whey protein with you. And otherwise, everything else is a bonus. Every day, you will eat 4 egg whites, 1 whole egg, 3 whites, and 1 scoop of whey protein. Anytime you drink milk, you can drink with that." So we gave him resource, and he is a lazy person. He would go to the gym only 3 days a week, and he would do only 8 reps per set. And when he came back after 5 years, because this 18 to 20 period, what do you need? 3 things to build muscle, which I didn't know then. You need nutrition, you need exercise, and you need testosterone. And an 18-year-old has an abundance of testosterone. It is so easy to build muscle. I didn't know it then, nor did we have resources. Now, if I would go, I would be like a hunk in medical school here.
You are a hunk in a lot of people's eyes. Dr.
Yeah.
Kuldeep, thank you so much for being part of Health Shots podcast with Ryan Fernando. May God grant you a very long life. Hope you're lifting into your 90s, and I'll join you one day on a cycling trip soon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ryan. That was fun and very interesting to have this out. Actually, I wanted to say all this. I got an opportunity with you today, and I hope we can do more in future. It was great. Thank you.
If you liked this episode, then please gift me a like, a share, or a subscribe. Or better still, if you comment, I'll come back to you. And don't forget, let's stay tuned for a new learning coming in. But till then, your body is the most expensive real estate. Take care of it.